Hi, thank you everybody for supporting the Improv Boost. Today we're going to talk about in Improv We're going to talk about backline etiquette. Now I know initially you're going to think like, how dare someone tell me how to act in a backline? I just thought etiquette was a good way of talking about certain behaviors and practices that might help out your show. You don't have to adopt any of these, or maybe some of them will help out. But let's get into the Improv. Backline etiquette. I'm really excited about talking about this because I think it's something that adds a lot of value to a show, but it's very simple. So I hope you take some of these notes to heart. Now, one thing I want to talk about backline etiquette is that the audience can always see you. So if you're off stage and you have this look of concentration on your face, that's typically what it is. It's typically that teammates or scene partners are, they have their arm folded under one another and they have their hand up to their chin and they have their eyes are scrunched and they're kind of thinking, and I know that actor's going, how can I help? What's going on? But what it looks like to the audience is that you're critically analyzing the scene. It looks like you're judging the scene. It doesn't look confident because it looks like you're trying to help out your teammates that may need help. And it's not the response that you want your audience to have. You want to the audience looks to you for permission on how to enjoy the show. So a confident person is enjoying their scene partners on stage. You don't have to be laughing out loud. But you have to at least be smiling or have that spark in your eye, like you're enjoying yourself, because the audience sees you. You are part of that show, and they look at you for permission to enjoy that show. You should be looking like you enjoy it. And a lot of times people are kind of stuck in their head. They're analyzing it. They have a scrunched face, and it just looks like you're not passing off a lot of support to your people on stage. A tip for this is I've been in a couple shows where they'll line chairs up on the sides of the stage. Those chairs are tools. Those chairs are not for you to sit down and relax because you might be in that next scene. They might call your name really quick. A phase or a philosophy in improv is that every scene is your scene. That when you're off stage, you should be ready to jump in on any second. They might say something that's an object you can be. You might be a sound effect. You might do a walk on, a tag out, scene paint. You might be able to do all these moves. And if you're sitting down or if you're leaning, you're not in the ready position to do this. Another thing is if you're sitting down or leaning, it looks like you're taking a break, which means it looks like you're not supporting your partner, and it looks like possibly, depending on how you're leaning, you're bored. Like, this happens all the time. This is not that exciting to me. And you want the audience to feel the energy as if that show is fun and amazing, and you want to contribute. I mean, this is what I assume. You want the audience to enjoy your show, so you want to contribute every element, every sort of atom you have to make that show better. Now, it used to be much more common. I don't see it as much anymore, but the backline versus sidelines. What happened is the team would set up a backline and players will come out from that backline. You see this a lot in freeze tag. Will come out from that backline and like support and edit, all that kind of stuff. Now, if you're going to do that, just know that your faces and your bodies are literally the backdrop for the scenes that are going on. So if you're not enjoying it, or if you have a blank look on your face, the audience is seeing that because you are directly behind the focal point. If you're leaning, it looks like you're bored and you're tired and your feet are tired. You should be so energetic and pumped about doing that show. I got this from Katie Schute's book. All you have to do is want to be there. This should be a fun, passionate activity, and you should reflect that in your support of the scene, not just in your scene. So I prefer with my teams is I prefer to have sidelines. We split them down the middle and have them go to the sides for that exact reason. We don't want to distract the audience from the scene that's going on stage, but also it's a tool for my teammates where they can actually see object work. They can see physicality. They can see certain things from the sidelines much better. Another thing that I want you to be aware of as the backline is don't audition scenes. Don't sit there and wait for one person to go on stage and decide, is that idea good enough for me to enter? Or what people typically say is, I don't know what they're doing, so I don't know how to support it. If they're on stage and you get that sense of they need help, you better be on stage. And if you don't know what idea you have, do what they're doing. Do exactly what they're doing. And if they have an idea, it will pop out of their mouth because they're waiting for support. If they don't have an idea, then you just follow each other, do a little bit more, and then you vamp for time. And either you guys, and this happens, I'd say 90% of the time, you discover it together. That's the fun of improv, you discover it together. But you've also vamped enough for people off stage, your sidelines, to jump in and help out and put context or scene painting or stuff like that. But don't audition the scene, because auditioning the scene sows distrust in the improv team. If a person goes out there with nothing, just because they knew the last scene need to be edited, that last scene need to be edited. That's all I know. I jumped on stage and that's all I knew. I just jumped out on stage. And if you do not support that person, they'll never edit again because they'll never want to be stuck on stage again. So here's a little vulnerable moment that I'll tell you the absolute truth. The worst feeling I've ever had in improv was being in a scene that went on for 10 minutes for a third of the show because the sideline would not edit it, even though we all knew the sideline needed to be edited. I almost never performed with that team again because it made me so anxious that I didn't want to go on stage again because I didn't think people would have my back. So don't audition the scene. Every scene is your scene. You want every scene to be good, even if it's not the scenes that you're in, because the audience will come back for a good show. The audience will come back for a good entire show, not for one good scene. If they come back for one good scene or one good player, they'll think it's a fluke. But if that whole team works together cohesively and all those scenes or most of those scenes were great, they'll think that team is a well-oiled machine, and the next time I go, it'll be worth my money to go. Thank you for watching the Improv Tunes. I appreciate your support. Once again, like I say, if you don't support the Improv Boost, at least support each other. Like each other, comment on each other's posts, go see each other's shows, hire each other's coaches, because if we can build up the improv community, if we can build up the improv economy, it's just going to help everyone over the entire country, over the entire world. Thank you so much.